Well, welcome back into the studio and October's clean slate. So I have decided to work on this. This is like some scrapbook paper. It's not real thick and heavy. It's been used on this side, so it's a little bit heavier on this side. And I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do. I got a lot going on in the background with this scrapbook paper. I do want to work in some blues and oranges today. I've been really in the mood to work in that color scheme. Maybe it's the fall, or I don't know about fall, but maybe it's the cooler weather that is inspiring that. And I don't know. So it's kind of nice that this already has some blues on it. So you know what? Actually, I am gonna start off with some collage. I had an idea of this really awesome paper I have. Let me go get that. I have used this before. My brother-in-law gave it to me. It's this non-rust vapor wrapper that he got out of a box that they were wrapped around. This paper was wrapped around some automotive parts, and I love the color. So I think I'm gonna bring that in here. It's not really orange. Well, it is an orange. It's a rusty orange. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna collage some of this. Just take a section of this and add it to what is already here. That should be plenty. I kind of hoard it a little bit because it's so much fun. It's like craft paper. This side has a little, like, it must have something on it that is the non-Nox rust vapor part, but I usually collage that down. I don't know if I need to or not. So, but I like, this is kind of fun to like deal with as we go along. I like the, you know, the challenge. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with this, collaging some of this wrinkly stuff down. It's like craft paper. It's not as thick. It's a little thinner than the craft paper. So that's where I'm going to get started.
Wish that I could stay in this moment forever, so I can hold you in my arms. I will carry you on my shoulders as long as I'm able. Scare the monsters under your bed, deep and abiding. Liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you. You will grow up in the blink of an eye and move out and beyond your own. But no matter what comes your way, I will stay right here beside you to catch you if you fall. And deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you.
As I was collaging this down, I was wondering if when I dry this, is it going to lighten back up in color? Because I noticed it really darkened up a lot when I added the gel medium to it.
deep and abiding. Liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you.
All right, I'm gonna come in with some gesso, and I'm gonna just use my fingers and move it around, kind of push some things to the way back, and allow the pieces I just collaged down to kind of become part of one of the background as a whole. The nice thing that also happens is that I'm gonna catch some of the wrinkles, some of the texture from that paper. Really wanted to add a little bit of black to this, so I am going to come in with this Distress ink that is archival in black soot, as well as the Stampers Anonymous Tim Holtz Ledger Script stamp set, and just add a little bit visual texture using that black.
I will carry you on my shoulders as long as I'm able. Scare the monsters under your bed. Deep and abiding. Liking.
And I'm going to come in with this Distress Crackle paint in the translucent. This is a new to me product. It does say glossy on it, so I don't really like to use glossy things in my art, but I've been curious about the crackle, this nuts, and the fact that it is translucent, so I'm going to give it a go. I am putting it on thick in areas and then thinning it out just to see what kind of crackle I can get from it.
Move out and be on your own. But no.
So it's kind of given me some decisions to make about how I'm moving forward, because I don't usually work with glossy. But having said that, I'm thinking of working with some of the Dina Wakley gloss sprays, which I've converted into these little dribble bottles because the spray bottles on these never work. So I'm thinking about doing that. However, this has already been sitting here for over an hour, and it's still not completely dry. It's very tacky, and you can see as it dries, it is definitely wrinkling up this paper. So in the future, if you use this translucent crackle paint, I suggest you use it on a heavier weight paper so that it doesn't wrinkle so much. This doesn't really bother me because I do like a lot of texture. So I'm gonna leave it and not worry about it, but I'm going to leave it overnight and come back to it tomorrow and see. It should be dry by then. I think it's the winter time, so I think it's just been more humid, and that may be what happened. I do see that it's reacted a little bit with this interesting paper. It's kind of pulled in some of that color, I think. I'm not quite sure, but I love what it's doing there. It gives me some more to play against. So I'm gonna let this sit overnight, and I will be back once this crackle paint, and just an FYI, crackle paint has to dry naturally. You shouldn't use a dryer on it, a heat tool on it, or even any heat type of tool. I use a blow dryer most of the time. It will not result in good crackle, so avoid that, and that's why I've let it dry naturally. And I'm gonna give up the ghost today and give it until tomorrow and come back and see how it is and get back in here. All right, well, good morning. Well, it's morning for me. It is the next day, and this is completely dry. There's no tacky. That took quite a while to get dried up, but it did do that. And like I said before, it's very wrinkly, which will make this kind of interesting, but I'm okay with it. So I am gonna kind of come in with some of this Dina Wakley Gloss Spray Mineral because it's also glossy. And if you're gonna have some glossy on it, my thought is you might as well make it look like it was intentional, and come in. And I don't use these very often. I'm trying to get rid of them. They're not my favorite. I don't mind the gloss actually. So when I want something glossy, it's usually what I go to. My issue is the spray. I would really love to be able to spray them, but alas, the spray nozzles don't work, and they say to clean them. Oh, I'm sorry, that's my vacuum cleaner. Fred is cleaning himself out. They say to clean the nozzle after every use, and I did that, and they still clog. So, and I've gone in with hot soapy water, just mild soap, and then spray pumping it through until it's clear, and then clear water, and then, yeah, and it still didn't work. So this is Mineral, which is this pale blue. And I'm gonna go in with that. And possibly, this is a little bit darker than I really wanted, but possibly this Payne's Gray, which is just an acrylic paint with airbrush medium. And I'm not quite sure how these will respond to each other. And I'm not even quite sure I'm gonna use this. But I did pull it out as a possibility. I've already shaken it up. I made sure I put all the BBs down in the bottom so that you can still shake it up. It's the other thing, they get really foamy when you shake them up, and you have to shake them up in order to use them. You can see all the foam. And I'm coming in here with the round brush and just moving that around additionally. I don't want to add any water and lighten up the color that I'm getting from this glossy spray. But I did want to get it to move around just a little bit more. And then I've chosen to come back in, to come in with some Distress Oxide Spray in the Spice Marmalade, because I felt like I wanted to accentuate that lighter orange color that the crackle paste had brought up, and then equally kind of get some additional orange going on in here. So I made that decision as well. And equally with that orange Spice Marmalade Oxide Spray, I did come in with some water because I did want to activate that oxide effect. But I did move it around with that round brush because I really wanted to concentrate on the edges and not where I was getting that pop of orange color from the intensified pigment. And I really liked how that ended up turning out. So I got a nice range of the oranges in there, from the dark earthy kind of iron tones from the paper to the oxide affected from the orange Spice Marmalade, and then where the real heavy pigment is that I did not spray with water. What I realized is that I didn't have any of those dark blues, and I really wanted to play off that. So I pulled in the Distress Spray Stain in Chipped Sapphire rather than that Payne's Gray. And I wanted to keep it kind of focused on the outside edges, kind of let it come in naturally a little bit. Ever more trying to find that balance of what I really like is that kind of mystical bokeh effect.
Deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you.
So I'm kind of laying down some water with that round brush and then using the tip of the spraying nozzle to apply that spray stain to the page. And again, like I said, focusing on the outside edges, getting lighter areas and heavier areas of intensity of pigment.
Wish that I could stay in this moment forever, so I can hold you in my arm. I will carry you on my shoulders as long as I'm able. Scare the monsters under your bed. Deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you.
I knew once I saw this background that I needed to use this postcard. This is a vintage postcard. I had cut away part of it because it had some beautiful natural handwriting from, I can't even, this is like 18 something or 19. I don't remember the date on it, but anyways, it's very old, and I knew these colors were gonna go really beautifully with this page. And it had the gold on it, and I just felt like that gold would go well with the glossy. So I pulled this out. I've been hoarding it for quite some time. I kind of had a hard time putting it down and putting glue over the lettering on the back, but the majority of it had already been removed. So yeah, this is what goes down as my focal, and I was so pleased to be able to finally use this and feel good about putting it down and not worried about it, the fact I wouldn't have it for something else that was the quote-unquote perfect thing for it. So
Liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do.
So this is a piece of rusted cheesecloth that I did back during the summertime. I did a rust bath and did a whole bunch of papers and fabrics, and this is from that. So I'm just gonna organize this in some way so it kind of like flows across the page and get that down and call it good.
Wish that I could stay in this moment forever, so I can hold you in my arm. I will carry you on my shoulders as long as I'm able. Scare the monsters under your bed. Deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you. You will grow up in the blink of an eye and move out and beyond your own. But no matter what comes your way, I will stay right here beside you to catch you if you fall. And deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in,